in my ass.
I just banged your wife?
Name of this garbage show again that I'm on.
Total Nonstop Impact.
My name's John, capital letter E, period, Bravo, and you're listening to the Total Nonstop Impact Podcast.
This is the jaw-jacking Tuesday Night Impact, and his mother called him son because he shines like one. Mocha Skin Manimal, Rohit, Raju, and you are watching Total Nonstop Impact.
This is Taya La Güera Loca, and you are listening to Total Nonstop Impact.
The Walking Weapon, Josh Alexander, and you're listening to Total Nonstop Impact.
We are the Rascals, and you are listening to Total
Nonstop
Impact Podcast, baby.
Woo! And what you're really listening to is Total Nonstop Impact. Don't you dare miss a lesson. Oh, yeah.
What's up, Impact Wrestling? Let's make some noise!
Sitting here, you guys got a 15-minute intro of putting yourselves over while I'm sitting here and watching J-Bone and Callihan and you're 50. I never saw a 15-minute intro of three guys putting themselves over.
This is the good stuff. Welcome back to Total Nonstop Impact. Impact Talk for Impact fans right here on the YouTube and the Periscope tonight. We are trying like hell, folks, to get that Twitch going, and it just does not want to go. So we are going
having
to
those
keep
problems
working.
the other day, too, for whatever reason. It's taken a while on startup.
Yeah, it's it's the account is back. We do know that, but we've been having a lot of troubles. I was having some troubles on Smash This podcast too, but nonetheless, we are gonna start this. Hey, we are getting a joiner from somewhere. We're not sure.
Somewhere. Undisclosed location?
Yes.
Parts unknown.
Parts unknown, ladies and gentlemen. Here is Trent. What is up, bro?
What's up, everybody? Should I do my intro? Did you guys already do the intro?
Yes, we are live. Yes.
Can I do mine? Welcome back to everybody. Total Nonstop Impact fans featured right here on the TNI Network. This is Trey, my co-host Bill, J-Bone, and Alicia. This is the Bound for Glory 2020 review, and I'm in an undisclosed location. I am somewhere. So yeah, what a show, huh? I only got a few minutes. It
was amazing. It was amazing.
Yeah, a lot of crazy stuff happening. But since we only have limited time with Trent, give us the down low on what your thoughts were.
My thoughts were, if you can see that should get. My thoughts were that it was an incredible show. I think it told an amazing story. I think the show was, I don't know. I think every story today got further. There were some things that people didn't expect. I think our brackets are totally.
They got busted.
I don't even know who won at this point. I have no idea who won. I don't think it's any winner. Oh, we're all winners as fans.
Yes, we're winners as fans.
Our turnbuckle contest.
Yeah.
So,
I won too.
Okay, we're live on Twitch, folks. It works.
It's just a delay for whatever reason. It's been doing that for the last week or two.
Yeah.
Twitch, I think wants a very basic title for some odd reason. I don't know what it is. If you guys missed the intro, anybody missed the intro, go to the YouTube feed and catch the first minute of this. But yeah, no, just to sum it up, it was I think there's so many unexpected twists and turns in this, especially with some people who returned, like Cowboy James Storm. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Didn't expect it.
Sue Young.
Yeah.
Definitely not expect it. Well, I guess I only have a few minutes, but how was the watch along, guys? Fun?
Oh, it was tremendous, dude. Our numbers were tremendous. They were. I'll fill you in later. Let's just say the numbers were really good for this.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you to everybody to join, new subscribers, everything. You guys are amazing. So you three also, thank you guys for keeping it all together. as well. Obviously, no scumbag here, but typical. That's all I can say.
He popped in briefly.
Yeah, he was
Did he?
here for like less than a minute. Yeah.
Shit. Well, all right. I can't dog him too bad, but no. Other than that, guys, I loved it. I can't wait to what happens Tuesday. Tuesday's going to be an incredible show. The post pay-per-view Fallout shows are always awesome. So.
I'm sure there's going to be some nice surprises. Yes.
Can I, before I go, can I just ask you three what was your favorite part of the show? Can I go this? I don't know which way. Alicia, ladies first.
I think ultimately I liked the whole thing. Everything kept me on my toes.
Definitely. Jay, what about you, man?
Oh yeah, the storytelling for each thing that was out there, whether it was the tag, the storytelling from the knockouts, the undisclosed location between Moose and EC3 we had goosebumps through the whole thing. The whole thing, top to bottom, each one was special in its own way.
Yeah, Bill, you got a favorite, or you gonna go whole thing?
The whole thing was great, but I obviously following Rich Swann, seeing him first when he was 16 years old at Pro Wrestling Unplugged. So seeing this now, world champion. I was hesitant. I was like, I want Rich to win, but I don't know because technically it's his second match back from that injury. Yeah. Maybe it would take a little longer, but the trigger was pulled. I'm glad to see it. So I'm glad to be surprised. Like I was hopeful for it. Like when I do predictions on these things, I always go what I think will happen, not what I necessarily want to happen. So that's what I wanted to happen. So I was glad to see it. So congrats to Rich. Well deserved. Put in the work. He was the MVP of the brand before his injury, so it's just well deserved. And honestly, the North recapturing. I know you even mentioned it. You're like, you thought it was going to be Madman and Ace, but then you're like, maybe the North retain it, but I'll keep them as my selection. And I think they were probably the last team, maybe Motor City, because everyone thought they just didn't have a chance to retain it. But then it would be the North. It's like after that forever run, for them to get it again so quickly, that's a surprise.
I think nobody saw that one coming. I think it's like, they had a year run. You know, what else can you do with them? But awesome.
Yeah, everyone thought they were going to split up. Obviously, they're not split it up.
That's cool. It's super cool. No, they came to play today, guys. I was very, very impressed with this show, and it delivered. I think also for anybody in the chat who also didn't see the social media stuff, and then like the hype, the countdown, the glory, and all that stuff.
You got to see all that.
There's some emotional, great stuff. The Rich Swann stuff is unreal. It kind of his win really puts it into perspective. So I'm very impressed with how that pulled up. And The Rock appeared. The Rock, Mick Foley, who was like Bret Hart.
Yes.
Wrestling.
Yeah. Wild.
So did a great job of capitalizing off everybody that's not officially signed up north.
There you go, man. Just the Rock. I can't. I'm like, what? Fucking Rock is on Impact Wrestling right now.
It's great.
That is wild.
And then Bret Hart mentioned Vince McMahon on Impact Wrestling. What the hell is happening right today?
Well, you know, he was watching, so he had to love that. He'd be like, "Hey, they put me over."
Yeah, right.
So I'm looking at the numbers again on this the contest we were running, and it looks like J-Bone won because I won.
Oh, J-Bone!
I won 3 of them because Rhino and Rohit and Shamrock all won.
There you go.
Hey guys, I demand a recount.
Hey, there's no Chads dangling, Trent. There's no Chads dangling.
All right, I trust you. Jay.
I may have thrown the competition.
No, the best would have been if the scumbag one, just going like, "Oh yeah, him, yeah."
Well, the people from Twitch are coming in here. I see bits being dropped, so thank you.
Yes, and we do have the bit thing with Truck tonight, right? Trent, do you remember the exact things that Truck said? If this was the review after Bound for Glory, up to 5,000 bits or something?
Up to 5,000 bits, Truck is going to match. So the more bits you cheer, the more Truck loses his mind tonight. He sent me a DM and confirmed that he is out of control. Bound for Glory night. He's not responsible for his actions. So the less responsibility you all people have cheering bits,
there it is.
The less responsibility he will have, and he will match those. Truck, thank you very much, and thank you.
Yes, thank you, Truck.
So let me turn it over to you guys. You guys take it, go match by match. I will definitely tune in and check out the rest of the show. I wanted to check in real quick. I am somewhere. I dropped an Easter egg. If you saw it, you saw it. If not,
if you paid attention, you saw it.
I didn't see it. I was on another screen. What did you show?
Well,
forget.
Forget it now.
Yeah, you got to rewind to see.
They can
rewind.
They can film me. I can't. We're live. I can't rewind. They'll fill me in later. You do what you got to do. You stay safe, Trent. We appreciate you.
Where's our internet sleuths at?
That's absolute. Well, guys in the chat, thank you very much. You three, thank you guys. Very exciting day. We'll talk about more on Tuesday for sure. Maybe Tuesday we'll actually get an after dark.
Are we taking tomorrow off? Because I just want to confirm this because we had a huge day today.
Yeah, I think everybody earned a day off tomorrow.
Yeah, let's take Sunday off. We'll be back Tuesday as far as TNI stuff.
We can talk about it maybe some other time. What if there is? Are they releasing Explosion on Sunday? Is there a new one?
There was, I believe, a new Explosion this week.
It's probably going to be on there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we can double it up or do it later in the week or something. Maybe maybe Wednesday or something. We'll figure it out. Unless Bill is feeling frisky and he wants to just get on there tomorrow. And for some reason, I know Bill's always up for a good time.
Oh no! Don't read what's on the bathroom walls. Bill's not always up for a good time.
Bill, if you're feeling saucy tomorrow, you can definitely call Mark or something and get on that.
It depends. If the fans demand it,
all right,
it'll probably happen. If not, then we'll take a day off.
Tweet William M. Gardner on Twitter. Let him know you want an Explosion review tomorrow. Mark can join you on that or something. I'm sure Mark will. He's feeling saucy today too. I think he was in the treehouse for sure.
Oh boy! Oh boy!
Oh, it looks like somebody was paying attention. Internet sleuth Justin Johnson.
Put that down. Put that down. I've been exposed. Gotta get out of here. All right, guys. We will see you. I'll talk to you guys later on. Have a good review.
Yes.
Later on.
You bet.
Catch you later.
Thanks, Trent.
See everybody.
Take it easy.
Later, Trent. Be safe.
All right.
Shout out to XB Dog with the cheers. Boom.
I'm seeing a lot of cheers coming in. Thank you guys so much. Keep it up. We love you. Yeah, what a hell of a night, guys. I don't know where to start with this. I mean, the watch along numbers were great too. Thank you again, everyone who chimed in, no matter where you watched from. Thank you so much. So it just proves that we should absolutely keep doing more of these because, I mean, we do the live reaction co-streams for the weekly Impact Wrestling episodes, but that's something that we hadn't done much before as far as watch-alongs for the big special events, but this is just proof positive that we absolutely should keep doing this.
For sure.
So thank you so much. All right, so hell yeah. Let's start out by talking about the countdown a little bit. I know it's late, so we'll try not to have this run, several hours or whatever. People got the rest of the weekend to do whatever they're doing. But yeah, keep sharing those bits. Yes, Kevin, absolutely. What a night it was.
Yeah, sure was.
Tremendous job to you and your crew. Congrats on what I think is a very successful pay-per-view, Big Kev. And just to see you in here, I just want to reiterate that I think Jablonski Hefferino won that little that little competition that we had going on there. I just I don't want to say that, but I'm gonna say it.
Good job, J-Bone. Good job, J-Bone.
Good job.
I don't usually I used to really keep track of these when I did pay-per-view predictions before. And my numbers would always be just dog shit horrible. I mean, really bad. I'd be like, oh, wow, I guessed one correct. Hey, I'm doing pretty good. This is one where I actually I won something. So hey, I'll take a very humble pat on the back for that one. So, guys, let's see. Let's start out with the countdown. How about those surprise appearances for you had several different people chiming in on the induction of Ken Shamrock. We had some great folks showing up there. We had Bret Hart was, I believe, the first one. And I was just like more shocked than anything that that he showed up by his message. I'm gonna have to go back and actually watch it and see what everybody actually said. I was just kind of more surprised by all these faces that showed up. I was not expecting this. That was really nice. What are your guys' thoughts on the different people that showed up? We had Mick Foley, Chael Sonnen, Bass Rutten, some MMA guys as well.
I thought it was great to see. Obviously, they were able to get kind of the biggest names that really aren't under contract up north or anywhere. So seeing not only The Rock, obviously that was huge, but we knew that was coming. But seeing also like Bret Hart, I was not expecting that at all.
Right.
Mick Foley, he occasionally will get Impact related, and he has a past here and everything. But obviously he has history with Shamrock, so it made a lot of sense. But no, I thought they did a good job of really capturing on some of those big names to really, and it's great to see for Ken, because Ken well deserved the Hall of Fame induction. It was great to see, because obviously there's not a ton of guys, well, technically almost nobody from that initial run he had with the company. It's just everybody in this last run, so that there could be some people he worked with over the years that really put him over. And for this Hall of Fame induction was great to see.
Yeah, his run in the first part of NWA TNA history was very brief. So to go back as far as the WWF stuff was appropriate for this. It absolutely was. Alicia, your thoughts?
I just loved it. I thought everything everybody said was very thoughtful and really showcased their appreciation for Ken.
Yes, yeah, it was a great selection between the world of professional wrestling and MMA as well.
Yes,
yeah. I know I'm going to screw up his name. What was the gentleman that runs the MMA social media? And he's also an announcer, Erwani. I don't want to.
Oh yeah, that's a tough name.
Ariel.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Unless you're a big MMA guy and probably hear that more often.
I know he's big in the MMA world, talking about social media and stuff like that. He's the only one that I didn't write down because I always screw up his name. And hear it so fast, I was like, oh man, I don't even know how to spell that. So
I just want to say this. Yeah, Ariel.
Yeah, Cargo Sting.
Okay.
That's the one, yes.
Ariel Helwani.
Yes.
But just for really just talking about Ken, like just meeting him during this run, the guy is very down to earth. Like you wouldn't almost imagine it, but he's a very cool guy, Ken Shamrock. Like I know just seeing him interact with fans and stuff, he takes pictures. He's very easygoing. And just as a little heads up, we when I did the Las Vegas taping that he was at, we did with the VIP experience, the bowling they normally do in Vegas at Sam's Town. He wasn't one of the bowlers, but he came out at the beginning of the event, just like to say hello and stuff. And he bowled the first, like a kind of a celebratory first frame strike all day. So the guy, everything he does is great. It's just
man of many talents.
Man of many talents.
All right, so in his induction and the message from The Rock, I know that was one that many people, including myself, was waiting for. That was great to see. I'm sorry, my head's going in 20 different directions. I'm looking at my screen over here, and I'm looking at the side, and I'm trying to keep this going on here. So just, Bill, if you want to take care of.
Yeah, I'm throwing some up right now.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that very much. And for the bits that keep coming in, thank you very much. Much love, man.
He's got 4,100 left in the bag. Make him spend them. That's great, Truck. Thank you very much.
Yeah, listen to the man. There you go.
So, if you're not on there, get on the Twitch, man. It's free if you already have an account. Hop on there and throw those bits out, and we'll match them.
And I'm not sure how we came back with more followers, but I'm not complaining. So, we kept the followers. That's going really well. The Twitch came back strong, so amazing.
Grazie, everyone.
Grazie.
Grazie. Ow, hey. Wow. We got a wild cat going on here. Quit biting me.
Mine is quietly curled up in a ball on top of my tower, but she's keeping a very close eye on me. She's behaving. I can't believe it. After a wild pay-per-view, a wild Oreo is very tame tonight, so very interesting. All right, so let's talk about that pre-show match. We had the Rascals, Rascals were Jiminy Christmas. Here we go. Oh, we got a long night ahead of us. Rascals were Dez and Wentz, looking fresh and fly, versus the Deaners, Cody Deaner and cousin Jake, if you will. Deaners. This was a lot of fun. I know there's a lot of rumors, speculation going out there about the future of one of these tag teams, but what are your thoughts on this opening match of the pre-show here?
I thought it was honestly a perfect kind of match for the pre-show. Like it really, you have two teams, energetic, going back and forth, looking good. Makes you want to buy the pay-per-view. Like I'd be interested. I think honestly, this whole pre-show, this whole hour-long countdown show, I think they got a lot of buys in this hour based on the induction ceremony, those cameos from those big names, and this match. I thought it all kind of hit. And I know I even saw cousin Jake, Jake something. He even responded to a fan like, "Oh man, you and the Rascals are on the pre-show. Like that sucks." And he went like high road on. He's like, you know what? We're gonna get people to buy the show with our match. I like this spot on the card, and that's the way to look at it, because that is what you're doing. You have a responsibility now to get people to buy this show. That's something big. And if you look at these other companies, especially up north over the years, they had champions that were on pre-shows many times. Tag champions, their secondary belt champions that were like kind of headlining the pre-show. So that's not really a knock. So that's maybe a one time you could look at it that way, but that's definitely not the case anymore. So I wouldn't look at it that way. I think, but both these, they got a spot on the show. That's how I look at it. Yeah. Because this was going to be a jam-packed show, and they found the spot for the Rascals and the Deaners. And honestly, and I know, obviously the Deaners come out on top here, and they kind of push it like, oh, they could be getting a tag title shot. So they're kind of putting that out there already, because we've kind of been saying that secondary tag division after those teams that we see on the pay-per-view match, or if you want to call them the top of the division, then there's a bunch of other teams fighting. But it looks like the Deaners, maybe they're at the top of that class right now.
Yeah, the only other tag team to win besides the and new.
Do we want to say that yet? Do we want to say that?
Well, yeah, no. we're not jumping too far forward, but let's say there was another tag match. But anyways,
but there's new champions.
Yeah. Alicia, any thoughts on Rascals versus Deaners?
No, other than I thought this was a really good match to get the show started. You know, it's like, let's not knock the pre-show, because, it's what gets us fired up, ready for everything else.
And you know what? We do got to give credit to the announce team for this show, because we had Madison, who we've been seeing doing the color pretty much the whole pandemic era. And obviously did a great job there, did a great job here. But great to see D'Lo back, and friend of the show, John Burden.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Great to see. Yeah, I mean, that was a well-rounded panel on the pre-show as well. Yeah, great to see Madison there. In a face that we usually don't see too much was D'Lo Brown. That was great. And
he was doing some of the Twitch stuff back in what seems like a forever ago.
Yeah. And friend of the show, John Burton. I was kind of expecting a little maybe a little hot news from him on the pre-show, but we didn't really get anything from him. So,
although I think he did get the first selfie with a new champ, as we talk about later, because he already posted that on social media.
Oh, tremendous! Are you talking about what was in the main event?
Maybe.
Yeah, that's a hell of a selfie then there. Absolutely. Man. So that's pretty much the pre-show. Of course, after that match was the induction of Ken Shamrock with the Rock and inducting him. Good speeches by both. Ken Shamrock looking like he had a little gleam in his eye, like a little kid up there. I mean, he really
He's giddy.
looked, it was a genuine, real moment for him, you know, and you saw that emotion in him. So that was great to see. So that's the pre-show, and man, if that got you excited for the pay-per-view certainly started out hot. We had the 6-way X Division scramble for the X Division Championship. We had TJP versus Trey Miguel versus Chris Bay versus Jordynne Grace versus Willie Mack and the defending X Division champion Rohit Raju. Guys, where do you start with this one?
A lot going on here. This was, there was a lot going on here, and it was kind of amusing. Like one of the early spots that kind of really sticks with me was when they were just kind of like they were all around the apron, just watching Willie work. But obviously Rohit was featured throughout the match. Like he really was as the champion. Like in this whole setup, it was like, man, his odds are not good because he's got to defeat everybody in this match pretty much, or hold them off, shall we say. And they were all gunning for him. Like they were all taking their shots at him as he was going around the ring. So as the champion, the heel champion that's kind of been ducking people, it was really kind of what you want to see in a match like this, is see all these contenders get their chance at him, which they did. But then you saw some crazy moves like Chris Bay, did that like a crazy drop kick. TJP, once again, in these multi-man matches, he's really great in these spots, as we saw in the 3-way earlier. So everybody I thought really got their stuff over in this match. Like Jordynne as that X Division, obviously we saw her briefly with the belt. We thought she won it, but then Daniel Spencer didn't raise that belt before the match. So it was like, I know in our predictions, it was like, for me, it was always between Jordynne and Rohit. And it was going to be interesting to see who really came out of it because, and obviously news official. I don't know if we're going to do a J-Bones news or not. But if not, obviously we have a re-signing that happened, announced today, right?
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. Earlier today, it was announced that Rohit Raju, I didn't hear any specific details, but the multi-year contract. So yeah, that is tremendous to hear. Hopefully others will follow in suit, because I know there's a few other contracts that are coming close to the end of the year. And I don't want to talk about that too much here, but we can save that for another time. But nonetheless, tremendous congratulations to Rohit Raju.
Well deserved.
Yeah, continuing your trip in Impact Wrestling. Alicia, your thoughts on the X Division match?
Man, this is spot after spot after spot. It was so entertaining from minute one to the final pin. And congratulations to Rohit for retaining. Anybody could have won that match, and I think that was so excellent about it. Kept me guessing the whole time.
It really did, because there were moments where Jordynne Grace looked like $1 million. Willie Mack and his unpredictable athleticism.
Yep.
Trey Miguel, who came out on top in the last Go Home episode in that 3v3. And the can we call him legendary already?
Yes.
TJP wrapping up all other 5, like
that's crazy.
4 members. I believe Rohit was the one that broke it up, but he had 4 people twisted up like a pretzel. Jiminy Christmas! I mean, the guy's just absolute. I mean, he's pulling out new moves lately that I've not seen him use like in forever. I mean, he's really demonstrating the. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Gettysburg in the chat. Rohit needs to do option C. Well, I mean, well, I don't know.
I'll tell you, the longer he has this belt, we did talk about it when we had him, which you can check back. We've actually had him on twice for an interview, and on the last interview, we did discuss option C. It sounded like that's something he's not looking at right now, like he's focused on this title run. But I'll tell you, the longer you have that belt, the more option C does come into play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you really, it certainly does build you up as, you know, it's the longer you hold it, you start thinking about stuff like that. Like, oh, like what else can this guy do? So yeah, I think the longer he holds this into the new year, if he does, you got to throw that out there. Who knows how long Rohit is going to have this? Because let me tell you, after this match, the X division is going to be, I think it's going to be reconfigured a little bit. There's going to be some people that may not go after him as hard and may refocus on something else. And we may even see some new faces going into the new year, heading towards Hard to Kill, which was also announced.
Yes, January 16th? Yes, January 16th, another Saturday.
I wrote it down.
Yes.
There it is. It's January 16th. So, yeah, I mean, who knows? You know, and we got a couple special events in between there, too. The Twitch specials.
Yeah. Two more victory. Two more Impact Pluses.
Yes.
Coming. I believe Final Resolution, and I remembered it earlier. The classic names coming back, which is good to see. So those dates haven't been out yet, but at the end of this match, we may have had a little foreshadowing from Josh, kind of saying, "Well, since Rohit retained, does that mean they're no longer going to get opportunities?" This group, as this group's opportunities at the X Division title, as you just said, maybe a lot of these participants are going to find new avenues in the company going forward. So maybe there's some new contenders now for this X Division belt.
It could be.
It'd be exciting, you know, and not to poo-poo any of the hard work that this other five have done. Is certainly newcomers to the X Division scene as of late, like Jordynne Grace. We'll have to see. You know?
Mm-hmm.
It's exciting.
It is. It really is. I know some people aren't a big fan of her being in there, but I think I can speak for a majority of our crew is very excited for Jordynne.
We're excited. I think what I've noticed is a lot of people aren't is because of what's her name did, and it's like these are two different people, and we can't hold the sins of one over the head of someone completely who has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, exactly. And she did hold her own, you know?
Yes.
There's no reason to think that she won't continue this race.
Yeah, anyone that's familiar with a lot of the females on this roster in the independent scene before this, obviously you see a lot of intergender wrestling on the independents, and all these knockouts hold their own in these matches.
Sure do.
There's no reason not to do it. And Impact, they decided it wasn't just because of one person that they were going to go into some intergender wrestling. And because of one person, are you then going to just get out of it when you showed as a mainstream company you are willing to do it?
Yes.
You got to decide it. Like, that's something you don't just dip your toe in. You go all in on that or not. And you're either going to do intergender or you're not going to do intergender. And I think this shows they're not getting out of intergender. They're at least going to have that on the table going forward, which once again makes them a little bit more unique among the mainstream companies, which I don't think that's a bad thing. And honestly, there's definitely some people that aren't going to like it. You may lose some fans because of it, but I think you gain a lot more potential fans because that's what they're used to seeing in wrestling today. Wrestling's evolving.
Yeah,
agreed.
And it defines the division even more, as in no limits.
No limits. That's what it always is. And we go all the way back. There was we always talk about Trinity. That was realistically out there within 1 year of the company's existence.
Sure enough.
No limits.
Yeah. Yeah, the only difference is they didn't pull the trigger at the time, and when she beat Kid Cash, and they didn't give her the championship.
Yeah.
So there's that, but that just shows how wrestling in general has evolved over the last almost 20 years. So it's come a long way as far as ladies representing wrestling and what they're doing with women in professional wrestling. It's it obviously improved. So yeah, Rohit Raju somehow, by the grace of the wrestling gods above, retained his X Division championship. It was truly amazing. Everybody shined in this match, in my opinion. Let's go on to the next one. The Call Your Shot Gauntlet. This was a lot of fun, a lot of chaos. I'm not sure how you exactly break this down. I'm gonna before we get into details and talking about that, I'm gonna just quick read off the participants. Rhino came out in the #1 spot. He had a lot to do. Now, newcomer, slash return.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not sure if it's a long-term return or it's a one-off. We're not sure yet. We're gonna have to wait till Tuesday or maybe catch a little bit of news, see what's happening. Davari showed up. That is one I don't think anyone saw coming.
Sure didn't.
He looked like $1 million. Larry D, Crazy Steve, AC Romero. Sorry, I had these crossed off and then they were hard to read. Crossing them off as they were eliminated. Caleb with a K. That one was a little confusing because it looked like it was supposed to be Tennille, and then she was like, you can't. Havoc, Brian Myers, Hornswoggle, straight out of Wisconsin. Oh, sorry.
Hometown hero.
That's right. Tommy Dreamer, Alyssa, Kiera Hogan, Taya Valkyrie. Let me tell you, the knockouts represented here. They
sure did.
Falaba and his Awad O Money. A return that some of us felt he was going to show up, but the rumors were scarce out there. James Storm.
Did not see that coming.
Recurred. That was amazing. Both members of Reno Scum back-to-back, Adam and Lester.
Great to see them get on the card.
Sure enough.
It was, yeah, because it's been back and forth with them throughout.
Yeah, it was well deserved because they've just improved. So if they didn't get on the card, it would have been a little upsetting since they didn't get that pre-show match because they were probably in contention there. But to get here was great to see.
Absolutely. And to round off the rest of it, we had Heath, hashtag Heath for Impact, and Callihan. And to round it all off at the end, to get the number 20 spot was Hernandez.
And the stash that won't quit.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, that difference almost
Fu Manchu
almost makes me want to get rid of this. That's really interesting. Although if I wanted to match it, I'd probably have to make it a little darker. I'd have to invest in some.
You could go to Trent's beard guy.
No, yeah, that'd be a waste. I think that was somewhere in Indiana where they got.
It was McFly's in Indiana near Crown Point. In Crown Point, actually.
Yes. So, man, a lot to talk about here. Like I said,
no suicide tonight. That is correct. Or maybe there was a suicide tonight. Oh.
Well, AC Romero was in the match, so I think that kind of answers the reason why.
And so was suicide with a K.
Are you saying that Caleb was the actual guy under the suicide mask all along? I mean,
could be.
I don't know. I'm still going with AC, but but yeah, true. No suicide. I'd have to check the Impact Wrestling roster page too to see.
I like Eli Samuel here. Screamed when James Storm came out.
Oh yeah. Surely.
Yeah, I did a few of these.
Yeah, a little pump. Yeah. Come back home.
if you guys kept track of his social media, he said he was working on a little bit of video work with his son, and it included what looked like it could have been a comeback promo of sorts, including classic footage of James Storm and him walking down a path and picking up the hat and putting it on. It just looked very cinematic and classic. It just looked great. I'm like, oh, it's got to be a sign, you know. So yeah, it's certainly great to see James Storm back. We don't know if it's long term, if it's a one off. We know he is a free agent. Alicia, what do you think about James Storm? You think he's sticking around? What do you think?
I hope so. Jeez, what a tease that would be if he just is one and done. Especially, I think he's still got so much to give, you know? Like, it'd be great if he decided Impact was what he wanted to give it to.
Yeah, because he was supposed to go up north. He had the contract, he had the pen ready and everything, and they pulled it out from underneath him. If you folks didn't know that, that's what happened to him. It was
They're a bunch of killjoys up there, aren't they?
Yeah, and it's like, oh, well, you know, because of COVID. Oh, really? But now you just hired a bunch of new people and moved people around, and you're still, it just doesn't make sense. You know, it just looks horrible. It really does.
Yeah.
But enough about them. Yeah, I'm hoping he sticks around. He's in incredible shape. It's one thing if he wasn't in good shape and there was a lot of negative news about him out there, but he has a tremendous history with this company. The Lakers' reaction.
I expect nothing less Lakers.
I was going to say, I say a typical Lakers, and I mean that in the most loving way. Your thoughts, Bill, on James Storm and the possible future of staying with Impact Wrestling?
I was saying it when I jumped on with you guys because I was going back and forth during the watch along. But I think it's great. I don't think, honestly, with the setup they have now, to bring him back just for a one-off, I think really would defeat the purpose because you're not getting that live reaction pop. So honestly, everybody is already bought the show. So I don't see bringing him in just for that. So you got to have him beyond this show. Now, does that mean it's maybe just these tapings? Possibly. I hope it's more than that. Just like when EY returned, James Storm, no matter what he does, he's a TNA Impact guy. Multi-time tag team champion with obviously the Wildcat who we've had on the show. Great to see James Storm back. Like this is home. This is home for him. Just like for EY, just like for EC3. This is a guy that really should always be a part of Impact Wrestling. And I hope that's the case because, once again, just like Eric Young, he's multifaceted. You could put him right into the main event scene. You could put him back in a tag team scene. You can have him, honestly, as we go later, he could be part of whatever you want to say Moose and EC3 storyline is right now. So there's a lot of connections. So that bridge between the history and the modern day, because you're right, like James Storm, the guy's more ripped now than he ever was in his early days in TNA. So it's just and testament to him. He's just put in the work over the years, from promos to wrestling to just taking care of himself. So I'm on board. I'm on board totally with a James Storm full-time return.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm not even sure where you put him, but no matter, I think, where you put him in this roster against wherever, he can share so much in the world of being a locker room leader, feeding that next generation, because a majority of this locker room still is young and hungry. You know, you look at the champs that are there now. We'll see. Let's see. Now, the final two. Oh, I gotta say this: Tommy Dreamer coming down with the tribute to Road Warrior Animal between the hair and the makeup. That was very cool. That was
yes,
very
yeah,
cool.
definitely.
You gotta go. What a rush!
What a rush! The first time in a long time we didn't see the dusty polka dots. So
No.
that was interesting.
That was a
We saw
commitment to gimmick. So kudos to Tommy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was very cool. Great to see. We miss the Road Warriors. Such a wonderful part. Brief though in this company, still wonderful in the realm of professional wrestling. The final two, Callihan versus Rhino. Now we haven't seen these two versus each other in quite a while, if ever, my memory serves.
Not since Tessa was feuding with OB.
Yeah, because I think this might have been a match on either an Impact Plus or a Twitch special that I may have been at. Because I feel like I've seen these maybe even during Sami's title run. He may have gotten a title shot there, but that I have to go back into the memory banks for that one.
That's true. Oh, Erico Mendoza here. What about a beer drinking contest with Storm and the Good Brothers? You better throw the Deaners in there too.
Yeah.
You know,
I think Willie Mack, after his connection with the Deaners, he might be able to fit in there pretty well too.
Oh, this is true. Yeah, that long of drinkers will be long and distinguished by the time you get done with that. It'll be crazy and nuts. But yeah, Callihan and Rhino, the final two. Rhino surviving through the whole gauntlet. How did he do it, guys? How did he do it?
He needed a jab.
That's what he's talking about.
He
and
needed
Motown Showdown, because that was the Detroit show, so that one for sure.
Oh, thank you. The critical sting with
I thought it was, but I didn't want to assume it. But yeah, the old Diamondback Saloon.
Yes. But yeah, Rhino gets to keep his job, and Heath gets a contract. So congratulations to Heath. Heath is staying, but he looked a little worse for wear in that match, though. What happened to him?
Yeah, it seemed like he legitimately got knocked around in this match.
Yeah.
And I think there are some rumblings, but we don't like to deal with fake wrestling news when it gets confirmed. But it seems like he may have received some type of injury in this match. So I don't know if that will preclude him from doing much in these tapings afterwards. I think we'll find out. Obviously, we'll know on Tuesday what's going on. But the good thing is Heath's sticking around.
Yay!
Or it could be related to maybe a future storyline, like, hey, Rhino won, and Heath got a jobby job, but he's not going to be able to do much. So Heath is going to blame Rhino. We'll have to see where it goes. I don't know. We'll see if it's if it is legit or not. I haven't seen anything on social media.
Millard here hitting the point. Brian Myers did look good in this match. Very professional and good.
Yeah, this is one that had so much to it. I'd have to go back and watch it. I think I stepped out partway through it too.
No, Bell's boy here going with social media. Heath put on social media with an ice pack near his groin area, guys. Very specific.
Oh, okay.
Putting it out there.
Interesting. Somebody had a few low blows or something. All right. But yeah, Callihan in the end defeated by Rhino. So congrats to Heath, no matter what his condition is, and congrats to Rhino on winning that. All right, we continue here.
Rhino.
Yeah. So I'm lacking in the soundbite department. That's all right. We'll see if we get a scumbag here. We can take that over. He's doing his own little his own
I didn't do it justice here.
War Machine, Rhino.
There.
Or a little Monty Brown for the night.
There we
go. That would have been a nice surprise, huh?
That would have been a hell of a surprise.
I noticed a lot of people on the fight watch, the fight watch, you know, the chat on the side of the fight page itself. A lot of people looking for Monty Brown to come up.
He's beloved amongst Impact fans, so it's understandable.
Yeah,
that might be one of the more shocking. Like if he were to show up, like I think us longtime fans, even newer fans too, But us longtime fans, like that would be like we're jumping out of our seat. It was like the Slammiversary watch along where me and Trent are like out of our seats, just going crazy for EC3. But that was at least in the realm of possibility. This one, it seems so out there and far fetched that Monty Brown could return because he's nixed it so much. Like a return anywhere, not just Impact.
Right. Wishes and dreams.
Yeah. So, but you never know. In the wrestling business, anything can happen.
You never say never.
Never say never.
XB Dog here. Still waiting for the Monty Brown emote. Oh, that's not a bad for a throwback. He's near the top of the list for a throwback emote.
Yeah, we got another one coming. We'll get it soon.
Yeah, I think we're doing Johnny Bravo as the next one.
Yeah, and now with the makeup that he had on tonight, I don't know if we want to do earmuffs and shades or if we want to do Two-Face. Man, he looked incredible tonight.
Did you notice that with that whole Two-Face thing, he had sort of like two personalities?
He did. Because he was kind of like the Johnny Bravo we're used to seeing, but then he was a very
aggressive.
Assertive. Yeah, aggressive, assertive. But it was mostly directed towards Taya, that Johnny Bravo.
Yeah, because there was a couple different things. We talk about that and then we'll get to the next match. Between Rosemary, she's ready for this whole comeback thing. She's and I thought we were going to get a taste of that, but I think a lot of that is going to be on this coming episode of Impact on Tuesday, as far as what's, because that's when the wedding is going down and all that. She's ready with Havoc to bring back who, a minister who is sinister, who's going to be leading all the nuptials. And I said during the pay-per-view, I said, isn't it interesting that that Taya was all in white? I felt that was very interesting.
Symbolic.
Yeah.
There's always. Go ahead.
Wait, why is she all in white? Isn't that usually like a bride thing? It's a big picture. It means something.
Mm-hmm.
And with the
that's a good catch. It's a good catch there, J-Bone. These things aren't done without thinking.
That's right.
That's definitely a little something to look into for sure. That's some foreshadowing.
It's storytelling. And the whole Two-Face thing with Bravo going from timid side that we've seen so much in the past, getting, pushed around or bullied from Taya and or Rosemary or whatever the situation was he dealt with in the past. Now he's getting in Taya's face where he's all aggressive and chauvinistic, like, hey, I'm going to be running this marriage. I'm putting my foot down. I'm going to, how chauvinistic men run there. I know.
It's not going to end well for him.
Alicia's shaking her head like the son of a bitch.
Don't wear white after Labor Day.
Cue that up, Bill. Where's my that son of a bitch? But yeah.
You don't wear white shoes after Labor Day. Not white.
It depends.
Isn't there something about white pants too or something? I don't know. I'm not a fashion.
Wait.
Sadly, understood about half of that.
Okay, I'm not a guy, so yeah. But we'll wait till Tuesday and see what the culmination of this whole crazy wedding gimmick that happens between Johnny Bravo and Rosemary and everyone else involved.
You mean the soul stealing ceremony? It's gonna be great.
Yeah, it's man. I like to say friend of the show, Johnny Bravo. I think we're afraid for you as far as what's going to happen to you. I don't think you know what's coming. We certainly don't know what's coming exactly, but it's man, I'm scared for him. I feel like that might have been Johnny Bravo's last appearance was on our last review. What do you think, guys?
His last appearance is roasting us.
Like we might have to put up a tribute this next review, like to him, Dominus Ominous or whatever. I don't know. We'll see. All right, so now on to one of the highlights of this pay-per-view, something that we were all looking forward to a lot, and it was still a giant question mark at the same time as far as what was supposed to happen, was Moose versus EC3 in an undisclosed location. The only thing we know for a fact is Moose put on social media, guess I'm heading to Baltimore. So, but that's all we really found out. It was in some kind of warehouse-looking joint, very similar to EC3's first promo that came out when he became a free agent. Alicia, what did you think about the match between Moose and EC3?
I loved the storytelling that happened during it, and I don't even know how to give it justice wording it, but it seemed like the whole purpose was EC3 was trying to wake something up in Moose.
Yeah, like it was a match of, 1v1, absolutely. But then in the end, the EC3 backers around ringside, his posse, if you will, they started cheering Moose. It's like EC3 was trying to get something out of him.
I think he succeeded as well. If you notice Moose's face when that whole segment ended, it was very intense.
It was, between the music, the way the camera rolled around him. It was all very well done. The lighting, I tell you, it looked 10 times better than any kind of, Raw underground that we've seen lately.
Much better. Didn't that get canceled, by the way?
What's that?
Didn't that get canceled, by the way? It was so good. It got canceled.
Sadly, yeah, sadly, absolutely was. Yeah, it turned out that EC3 was trying to get Moose out of what he was doing, and to get him almost like, it almost felt like EC3 was like that boss level guy you go at the end of a video game, and then, okay, now I can get to that next level. You know what I mean? Bill, what are your thoughts on this?
This was, I know we kind of saw it after the last confrontation on Tuesday, where he went to the bridge. EC3, there wasn't really a funeral for the belt. He still had it. And we saw him beating on the bridge, just like pounding him. And then you could see the smile from EC3. It was like he's trying to unlock something in him. Like, yeah, this is a feud, but what is EC3's end game? To control your narrative for Moose. Is he really trying? Like, is he against him? Is he against TNA? Or is he just trying to bring something out? And I think that's what this whole storyline really was. And this is what we see in this match is he wanted to bring something out of Moose. Like, what's going to be the aftermath of this? Are they now partners in something? Or is he a follower? Are they working together? Because he wanted him to be something, and he got that out of him in this match. Because he just sees, because at first we always saw, okay, he's talking about this TNA title. Is he shitting on the title? Does he really want to destroy the title? But then during this, we see like he references everything about the title. He's like, he just wanted to make sure that, because remember, Josh made it a joke when he started coming out as TNA champion. Oh, you found that in the prop room. You brought that out of storage. You didn't win that belt. And then it's like when he started defending it, oh, you're not really defending that title. So now he really put that title over. And now Moose has it as being very put over as the TNA champion. And that's something that maybe wasn't there before. Now it's much more serious. So now we'll see where it goes from there and what EC3's part in that is. But I thought, like you said, everything about this, there was even the music was really good during this.
Yeah,
I'm a retro vibe.
Oh, yeah, big time. I've been a fan of the retro music, the classic 80s spooky cinematic horror movie vibe that's been coming along with EC3 through all of this. I can never remember the guy's name. Some of this kind of music is played during Romero's the Dead movies from the early 80s, along with like a John Carpenter vibe I'm thinking of. So yeah, it's all had that feel to it, and I love it. EC3 in the last episode, I don't know if you've seen that, he even put out a Billy Joel song quote. Quick to joke, light up a smoke lyric. That was hilarious. So yeah, a lot of 80s feel to all this. Interesting. But yeah, where the hell does this go? Number one, does this make the TNA championship viable again? Does it make it real? Or does this just mean that Moose goes on to the next chapter with this still as a prop, but with a new vision, a new chapter starting, a new goal, if you will.
Well, I think right now, it's people that have been clamoring for that secondary title. If they didn't take the Moose Moose TNA title run as a serious secondary belt, I think right now they definitely have that opportunity. Or I don't know if you go right into it, or if it's a hard to kill, or if it's if it's Rebellion, if it's Slammiversary. But at some point, do you get? I know I just highlighted it. If you go Swan versus Moose at some point, is that a title match?
Yeah, Truck said something in the comments here, and I can't find it, but I'm seeing it here. It says, "What do you think of EC3's flashbacks meant?" Yeah, that was an interesting part of that too that they showed. Thank you. During that set, some of the classic TNA stuff from matches. Was that something that showed EC3 was thinking about his past, and it actually controlled him a little and caused him to lose this?
Maybe. I think it was just more because really this whole time it was like he didn't want to acknowledge that TNA past is what we were led to believe. Yeah. But really, that was all a ruse. It was more he just wanted to get this out of Moose.
Yeah, that's true.
To be a proper TNA champion like he was.
Yeah. Next, we had Eddie Edwards versus Shamrock. I tell you, from the dramatic stuff from Moose and EC3, that this is one I got to say I didn't pay quite as much attention to as I should have, I don't think. But this was still quite a war to witness between Shamrock. Thank you. Shamrock and, I should say, new Hall of Famer Ken Shamrock and Eddie Edwards. Alicia, what are your thoughts on this match?
This was a good one. I think because the win went to Shamrock mostly because what better way to end your entering of the Hall of Fame than to pick up a big win like that. It's just, tonight was just so awesome. I'm still like reeling through it that I can't even give it the proper words. Like, it was just so good.
Yeah, it's also hard to see what's in the future for both. I mean, do you see Callihan staying on this thing that he's got this past with Eddie and he can't shake it? I mean, it's not a bad thing. They have tremendous story and tremendous chemistry from the past. But does Shamrock go off onto something bigger and better now, or does he stay as Callahan's monster now that he's got? Because Shamrock in his battles dating back to a year ago at Bound for Glory hasn't always been on the winning side of things.
Yes.
And now he's got this win under his belt. Does he go on to bigger things with Callihan at his side? What do you think, Bill?
I think that's a real possibility. And I know Sammy's been kind of saying it in promos and a lot on the most recent press pass where Sami was on there with Eddie. And it's and you just turned it right. Like, he looks at him as his monster. What Fulton was not able to become while he was in OVE with him is that this is Callihan's monster, Shamrock. He is his whole thing, because when they obviously feuded, but then they were wild stallions. It was he wanted to unleash the world's most dangerous man again. Very similar. So it made sense to go from the EC3 Moose match to this, because Sami wants to create Ken Shamrock in that same mold. He wants him to become what he used to be, a killer out there, really, in the ring. And we saw that in this match. There was no mercy from Ken Shamrock in this match. Because obviously Eddie's out there. He's doing a suicide dive. He's getting Sami. He's got Kenny the kendo stick back in full form. But in the end, it's just that killer instinct from Shamrock, which, once again, is it going to be Shamrock? Because he even said, like, maybe, because a lot of people thought, well, this could be Hall of Fame Ken Shamrock, Swan Song, no pun intended, off into the sunset. And really, with him getting the win over just the world champion not long ago, he ain't going nowhere. So does he get into the world title picture? Maybe. Or is Sami going to use him to get himself in the world title picture?
There you go.
That's much more Sami Callihan we know and love.
Sami doesn't have the best track record of managing his monsters.
Yeah, so
Sami, but geez.
Yeah, so this is going to be interesting to see the relationship. Is it going to blossom between Callihan and Shamrock? Is it become something big? That was great. Is it going to become something bigger and better? Is it going to expand into more prosperous things for Callihan? Or is it all is Callihan just going to use it as just a piece of destruction to get what he wants in the future? I don't know.
We'll just have to wait and see.
This is going to absolutely be another turning page moment for the roster and the company itself after Bound for Glory. We're going to have to wait and see where all this goes. So Shamrock, the newly crowned Hall of Famer, if you will, gets a win here over Eddie Edwards. Hard-fought battle, really proving himself that he still is one of the baddest men in Impact Wrestling. We go from that onto the four-way tag team title match. This just match after match in this one, just the stories get crazier and the action gets more nuttier. We got Ace Austin and Madman Fulton at his side versus the Good Brothers, Karl Anderson and Gallows versus the North. Ethan Page and Josh Alexander versus the defending Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. Starting out really, I'm going to use that word, wonky. Beyond wonky for one Alex Shelley, who was attacked by the North and dumped on his head unceremoniously from Alexander with a driver, and then carried off by members of Impact Wrestling staff, leaving Sabin to be one defender of the Motor City Machine Guns. Let's go to Alicia here for your thoughts on this four-way tag team title match.
Oops, sorry, repeat that?
Oh, I just want to get your thoughts on this.
Okay. The sound went out briefly. I thought it was very entertaining. Again, the theme with tonight seemed as what's actually going to happen, because everything we predicted seemed to go off the walls. I had a hard time trying to figure out, especially when they threw that in with taking Shelley out first before the match even started, man. I was just blown away.
Yeah, that certainly changed the vibe of the whole match going forward. You're like, well, there's absolutely no way in hell that the Motor City Machine Guns retain this. Sabin can't do this on his own, can he? He stayed out there, though.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part. Bill, what do you think about this match?
Yeah, same thing there. When the North attacked Shelley coming right out there, and Alexander that was brutal looking on the ramp. The good thing Dr. Ross was right on the scene. If not, I fear for what could have happened.
But Dr. Ross Foreman and his quick reaction.
That's right. But yeah, Sabin comes out there. He kind of looks around like, hey, all right, I guess it's just me. But I'll tell you, there's a reason his Twitter handle is Super Sabin, because that's what he was in this match.
Yeah.
Multiple ACL tears, but he's out there with like the best tag teams in the business, no doubt about it. And he was holding his own in there. And I was like you, just him. I don't think they could have held on to it. If somehow Shelley got himself back together and made his way back up the ringside, maybe they could have been victorious in this one. But this was one, I know we touched on it briefly with Trent to begin the show, but obviously the Good Brothers, they've been on a hot streak. Ace and Madman seem destined to do just big things in the company. The North, obviously they were the class of the tag team division for over a year. They were the Impact Tag Team division for over a year. Once the last formation of LAX went out the door, when they defeated them, it was pretty much they were it. That the Rascals got close, but not quite there. But they were the division, and with all these teams, the Good Brothers, the return of the Machine Guns, and then obviously this new team with Ace, who was a world title contender, and the Madman, who's just a monster out there.
Yeah.
It seemed like, was this going to be the North having another shot this quick? Once they didn't win that quick rematch with the Machine Guns, would they get the titles back? I know a lot of people thought they were going to break up. Maybe this was the end of the North, go their solo ways. But then they came out with an objective here. They were the ones that took out Alex Shelley, and they're the ones that became victorious in this match. It was once again expected. A lot of great action. The North stood out in this match. Sabin stood out a lot in this match. The Good Brothers, they were close. They were close. I know there was a couple times we thought they were going to take it, but it's the North, so it's going to be interesting to see where this goes. I know when we're watching it live, I saw like the ready-made storylines with everybody but the North.
Yeah.
So the North, I'm not really sure where they go with the North as champions. Obviously, all these teams can gun for them because they're right at the top. But is there going to be more to it than just that? I know one of my shenanigans for this whole card was I thought maybe the return of the coach and Canada.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, as we'll go over in the main event, it seemed like that took a blow in this one for Team Canada. But obviously, the North would be key factors in a reformation of that. So that would be the reason to keep them together. It's still an outside shot. But once again, did not disappoint. I'd like to see more and more from these tag teams. I know I was always hoping for a Full Metal Mayhem. I'd love to see that maybe at Hard to Kill. Maybe not with all these teams, but maybe with 2 or 3 of these teams.
Yeah, and I think this is a point where the tag team division is going to evolve even more after this, because we've seen the North go through everyone on this roster. We've seen them battle with Motor City Machine Guns. We've seen them battle with the Good Brothers and everyone else in between. You know, whether they were at the top of the card or the bottom of the card, they faced everyone. So yeah, it is going to be very interesting to see this next chapter of part 2 of the North holding the tag championships. Again, I'm really confused by it, but I'm not confused in a way that I'm disinterested by any means. I mean, they came to win, and they did. I feel like it started last night a little bit, where that big fight feel in the pub. I don't know if you guys saw it on social media, the little fight that broke out between the Good Brothers, who were just trying to, sell a little. They were having a little bit of a party with their new whiskey that just got released, And I don't think Page was a big fan of it because he spit it in Gallows' face, which started the fight.
So you got a ready-made feud there with those guys. And I'll just say this, though. One thing I'm hoping this doesn't mean, because Shelley, it was brutal. I hope that doesn't mean a write-off of Shelley. I like that the Machine Guns won't be a team going forward. That's why, because it was so great to see him back again. They add so much to that division. And honestly, we always say they have not lost a step. Time machining 10 years ago. They're the same guys. It's unbelievable. So them just being in that division adds so much to it. So hopefully, maybe not on this set of tapings, but they're still here through the end of the year and at Hard to Kill.
Yeah, we'll see. What do you think is the future of the Motor City Machine Guns, Alicia?
I'd love for them to stick around, but I'm not so sure. I mean, Sabin, yeah, I'm not so sure about Shelley. Fingers crossed. Let's try to stay optimistic as regards to them.
Yeah, hopefully Shelley is okay, and all he had was a little stinger, and hopefully that team returns. And hey, but if it turns into a little more of a singles action with the two, I'm not going to complain.
Oh no, not at all.
It's their contribution to this roster, either way, whether it be singles or tag title wise, is always tenfold to everybody below them. They can learn so much, Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, again for tuning in. Guys, it's been a long night. We've been sitting here a long time.
Couple hours.
Thank you for tuning in. The bits, the subs, the likes, whatever you're doing to contribute, we appreciate it greatly. And we continue here with, if I didn't say it, the North got their titles back, which I think shocked all of us. Because, in fact, I'm looking back at our pre-show predictions. None of us called that one. So that was one of none of us got right. Now, the Knockouts titles, we were absolutely shocked by this one. Deonna Purrazzo coming out with her sidekick, Kimberly, to face not Kylie Ray. Kylie Ray was not there. And I missed if commentary said anything specific about her.
No, they didn't, because they went through her entrance.
Yeah.
And nothing really happened. They didn't really even address it when nothing happened. Then Deonna got on the mic. And then we got Su Yung coming out. So they did not really address it at all. I'm sure there'll be stories out there. I'm sure they'll address it on Tuesday for sure. But yeah, so, and just as a heads up on this one, we got a third commentator. Madison Rain joined the Josh and Don for this. So we got a little Madison for the Knockouts match. But yeah, so we definitely got a curveball here. We would have gone with we got Su Yung. So we didn't. Obviously, Susie broke her arm. Deonna broke her arm at Victory Road. But there's a lot of ways this could go, because Susie is Kylie's best friend. A lot of people might say Kylie maybe she didn't stop Susie's arm from getting broken, where maybe she could have stopped it. So a Su Yung might not take kindly to Kylie right now. So that could be part of it, but there's a lot of reasons this could have happened.
Su Yung had a message to Kylie on her leg.
Yeah. Did you read the whole thing? Did you see the whole thing? We know Kylie and what blood was on there?
A bloody Kylie Ray, I think it said.
Oh.
I believe that's what it said. Bloody Kylie Ray. So, I mean, that right there is very telling as to what could have possibly happened with Kylie Ray going into this. That everything that happened to Susie triggered Su Young's comeback, possibly making Su Yung to turn on her friend Kylie Ray, leaving her in in the ditch, so to speak.
Yeah. Now I know Truck just said he lost his mind when it was Su Young's music, but I think we all thought it too because it was like the heavy fog that she was coming out of. A lot of us were like, "Is that Kylie in a Sue look?" But then we quickly realized it wasn't. Although it was a slightly modified look for Su Young than her normal look, but it was definitely Sue.
It's evolved, and that's one thing that we've noticed from these characters in this company, like Rosemary throughout the years, or Su Young in the last few years. They evolve when they come out. They change, and that's not a bad thing, you know. I mean, I tell you, I had goosebumps when Su Young came out. She's one of my favorites on the Knockouts division. And seeing her come out, I was like, oh, this changes everything in this match. This is, I mean, the look of Su Young come out, she was old. I mean, in the sense of she looked different. It was old school Su Young. She was twitching. She was full blown character. And then they did a close up of Deonna Purrazzo reacting to her coming out, and that was a story in itself. Alicia, talk about this match.
Oh man. Well, it was definitely unforeseen what we got, but man, did Su Young give Deonna the fight for her life and won the title appropriately because of it. Revenge is sweet, I guess they could say.
It is a dish that's served cold
and dead.
Undead.
Undead.
Just like Su Young's heart, yes.
But I will say also, really like Deanna's gear. Her new star gear is...
You pointed that out. The gear, and as we like to say with Moose, a lot of the different Impact stars, they bring it, especially on like pay-per-views. They get new gear, and this one, Deonna, star. It'll look like star written all over it. Like that's a face of a division with gear like that.
Yeah, Truck says match of the night. Yeah, I mean that is absolutely one that we were certainly all looking forward to.
With different competitor in there, and yet it was still that. Like we thought Kylie and Deonna could be match of the night going into this show, but Su Young jumps in there. But we all know Su Young is one of the top female performers out there, so that not a surprise. Not a surprise.
Yeah. So, and we don't know what's going on with Kylie Rae. You know, she was in Chicago leading into this. All the promo stuff was done. We really don't have a clue what's going on. I'm sure we'll learn in the soon to near future.
Yeah, I know we don't know the details. I know someone did mention that like she was hurt, and I was at the show where she got hurt at the Collective in that match with Josh Alexander on the Midnight Show. But that was a couple weeks ago. So not sure if it's related to that or not. Could be, might not be. We don't know the details. Hopefully maybe tomorrow we get more information, but at least by Tuesday, I'm sure there'll be an update on the Impact Tuesday night show.
Yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out soon enough. And if we find out, I don't know if we're doing a tomorrow night show. That's still
depending.
Still up in the air. We had a long night tonight, so we may take the night off unless the fans absolutely demand it out of us. We'll see what happens. Drag us out of our 6 hour.
Yeah, maybe out of our slumber.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if anything, we'll cover it Tuesday because I'm sure some news will end up coming out.
Who knows? If people are saying, "Oh, they're going to match bits again or give subs," then hey, I've been coerced to do things for a lot less than that.
Twist my arm a little,
baby.
So, all right. But yeah, and new the comeback of the night, I would say, Su Young. The reason why I say comeback of the night is because we have the and new attached to it. You know, so there were certainly others that we were excited about, like James Storm, but hey, Su Young came back and won the championship. So she is a 2-time Knockouts champion right now.
There's Brandon the first. We demanded no sleep.
All you guys.
No sleep till
Brooklyn.
Damn it.
Watch out! Don't go too far with that beat. YouTube might take us down.
Don't get me started on some BEASTIE. Well, I'm Jay Bone. Hell yeah, that's me. All right. I got to throw a little old school in there. I'm sorry. Once it starts, it doesn't stop. All right. So, hell of a match. Su Yung and new Knockouts champion. Can't wait to see where this road goes for Deanna and Su Yung alike. New stories for both, I'm sure. So now, and with that match, we get announced what we have all been clamoring for so long. The Knockouts tag titles are returning at hard to, oh my God, I wrote hard to Knockouts. Hard to kill. January 16th. Jiminy Christmas. Yeah, it's been a long day, folks. Hard to kill, January 16th. The Knockout tag titles will return. I'm sure some kind of tournament of sorts is going to be made leading into that, going into the new year. Hey, maybe even some new faces. We'll have to wait and see. But we are so thankful that with this stacked Knockouts roster that we have, that they've grown over the last year, given the conditions of professional wrestling itself. We now have this. Alicia, I got to get your response from this.
Repeat your question. Sorry.
Your feelings on the return of the Knockouts tag titles.
Oh, considering I've been word vomited about it for about a year now, I am very thrilled. I knew we'd get something for Slammiversary in regards to it. I was hoping it would be the actual belts, but this is just as good, and I'm excited for the build into it because we have some pretty established, awesome knockout tag teams.
We do, yeah. With veterans like Nevaeh and Havoc leading the way to newer teams like Kiera Hogan and Tasha Stills still making a very big statement in here. And considering we don't know the future of the Knockouts championship itself as far as the road that Su Yung is going to take, maybe Deonna Purrazzo and Kimberly will get thrown into that tag title mix as well. We'll have to wait and see. Bill, your thoughts on the whole tag titles of the Knockouts returning?
No, I know they've been teasing a lot, but what they did, I can't disagree with it at all. They built up a tag division for the Knockouts over the course of the last 6 months. They didn't just go right in, let's just create a bunch of tag teams out of nowhere and throw these belts back into existence after a couple weeks. They took their time. Now we know that, like, everybody knows there's teams. These are the teams in Impact. And now when they bring these titles back, even not during this set of tapings, it's still going to be a couple months from now that they'll be well established. So Ty and Rosemary, as long as there's no wedding issues, that team maybe goes to the side, they'll be top contenders along with all the teams you mentioned. So I think it's a loaded tag division, really, when you look, because it's a loaded Knockouts roster. So these tag titles, they were long overdue. Now that the division's at where it is, it makes a ton of sense. But really, my one worry, I guess, is you still only have the 2-hour TV show and Explosion. There's got to be something else in the works, because there's not going to be enough TV time for all they want to do. So this is just adding another title. Now that the TNA title looks like it's not going anywhere, that's a lot of titles for a 2-hour show and a 1-hour show. That's really only one match normally on the show. You're going to have to expand that by at least one more match or have another TV show. It just has to be done.
Well, I think that's where these monthly specials are going to come into play.
That will help.
Even more importantly, if we can start throwing these tournament matches possibly on some specials leading. I know we still have 2 to go. We've got the November one and the December. I am forgetting. I know the final battle is December
Not Final Battle. Final Resolution.
Final Resolution.
Turning Point should be November.
Okay, so November's Turning Point, and then the December one. So we certainly have plenty of time to sort this out. I have a feeling, though, we're going to see even maybe a couple more new faces show up. I wouldn't leave that idea to the side at all, because it's just going to make this more important as well, along with these other teams have been proving themselves over the last several months this past year. But I can't wait to see where this goes. Now, on to the main event for the Impact Wrestling World Championship. Eric Young defending versus the comeback of the year, Rich Swann.
Main event time.
Yeah, main event time. This was a hell of a battle. We had so many different ideas what could have happened with this one. I was not successful in my guessing this, but that's okay. That's okay. In my opinion, no matter who won this one, we knew they were going to tell a great story in this match. The big question here was, we've heard so much in the promos leading up to this, is who is us? This Eric Young, or this us that Eric Young keeps going back to in the Bound for Glory promos. I thought that was going to be the big reveal somewhere in the midst of this match, whether it was shenanigans, post-match, something. We didn't get any us. But we certainly have more storytelling to go, because I got a feeling if it didn't get revealed here, we got this next set of tapings that something's going to happen with Eric Young, because, man, we thought he was crazy leading up to this. I hate to see what he's going to do now that Rich Swann took his championship away. Alicia, your thoughts on Eric Young versus Rich Swann for the main?
Well, first and foremost, this was one of my guesses that I actually got correct. One of my two that I got right. And wow, this match was absolutely phenomenal. And congratulations to Rich for getting that well-deserved win. Now, in regards to what happens after this, the roof is about to get blown off the building.
You think so?
I think so. It's not done. It's not done. You don't just end something like that with a man like EY and walk away with his belt and think that's it.
No, because when he came back with a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
He had goals. He wasn't just going to walk in and be like, hey, I'm just here to help the company in any way I can, be a good company guy. No, he came in to steamroll everyone. So, yeah, motivated, crazy mother trucker like EY getting his title taken away from him by someone who has been beaten down, coming back from injury after injury, a possible career-ending injury,
mm-hmm.
which we didn't see. We didn't see Rich Swann for well over 6 months after his. What event was that again, Bill?
It was the Bash at the Brewery 2.
Mm.
Okay, and that was right prior to Hard to Kill.
Hard to Kill was the night before Hard to Kill.
Yeah. So yeah, it's
technically 2 nights before Hard to Kill.
And for him, yeah, for him to come back, don't follow Oreo. There you go. She's just stretching and getting cozy on the tower, making sure she doesn't fall off. Your cock. She still would be in shambles then. Speaking of shambles, you okay? My God.
Oh, poor cat.
She's all right. She just.
Nah, but to see Rich really go from, like, I was there live for that injury, and it was like during all these video packages, I couldn't help rewatching that scene, and I'm seeing me there while it's happening, and it's like, because my initial reaction to all that was I was actually giving, like, I was cheering because the guy that did the move that caused that injury had never done that move in his life that I've ever seen, and it was like, where did he pull this out of? Like, oh, wow. But then I'm like, wait, there was a sound there. And I almost see myself back up and be like, and it was like, because you knew you heard something, but it was like, hopefully it's not what you think you heard. But then it's like, oh yeah, it was what you heard. And then obviously seeing them the next day when they did the show at the Texas Rangers, the Texas Live, and him on the crutches, and still hopeful, but you knew something was not good. And then obviously by Hard to Kill, you knew he was going to be out for the foreseeable future. But it was just seeing that long road to recovery. But then even as we saw, and I knew some stuff about his backstory growing up, but I honestly didn't know all those details. And it's just, he's lived a life, man. He's had some things happen to him over the years. That just for him to get to where he already has gotten to is a real testament to him. But now to really reach that pinnacle in his profession, just kudos to Rich and congratulations. And now since the Impacts, the first family of wrestling in Impact Wrestling, holding the belts together.
Oh yeah, someone had mentioned earlier, I'm sorry, I don't remember who said it, but that this is the first time a married couple won the belt
at the same show.
The same show.
Oh, that's right, because Rich Swann. Okay, so yeah, kayfabe here, yeah.
Kayfabe daddy.
Rich Swann. It took me a second. I'm like, what?
Who?
So Rich Swann, for those who don't know, is married to the woman behind the mask of Su Yung, or I should say behind the paint, excuse me. So yeah, very interesting there, that they're both champion. Although they've never been together similar to the way that we saw Taya.
They're not like the Impacts, not like Team Slamtown.
Right. Yeah, we've never seen anything like that. And that's not to say that we won't, but it would be very interesting if there was ever something put together like that.
Can you imagine?
Oh,
their characters are night and day, literally.
Such a different. They would have to change so dramatically on one side or the other.
Yeah, would they meld in the middle? You know, or would I mean, I could certainly see a guy like Swan evolving and putting on. Putting on some kind of makeup or something, or doing something
different.
With
Sting, but now Johnny Swinger is the new Critical Sting. You say kayfabe, Johnny Swinger shows up.
That is funny. Welcome, Johnny Swinger. And speaking of Johnny Swinger, the Preppy Pirate Outfitters that we're friends of that have come on the show. We did that event back in, I believe it was back in April now, where Johnny Swinger was on the show. He has his own Swing Time bandana on sale. You can go online and pick that up for a very low price from what I saw earlier this week. I
gotta get my hands on one of those Swing Time bandanas. Might be taking your gimmick, Dave.
Yeah, you guys. Nobody takes the gimmick, Daddy. No. I'll let you borrow it for a night, you know. Just don't ruin it. All right, so so yeah, go over to Preppy Pirate Outfitters online, and they've got a face page too. It's loaded with their gear, some great gear for men and women, some great clothing, if you will. But man, this match between Rich Swann and Eric Young. What a tremendous storytelling. At one point in the match, looked like Rich Swann wasn't even going to be able to continue. when he landed on his head, and that shook
it was
me
brutal.
up. That really shook me up. I was like, I didn't know how bad he was hurt during that, and Eric Young throughout the rest of the match, like I always said, one of the best parts of professional wrestling is that limb work. And no matter what limb it is, in this case, it was his neck. So and that's even more scary when it comes down to it.
Because when Toll went out there and was kind of checking on him a little bit, and then EY went to the outside, and it's like EY, in an uncharacteristic move, peeled off and went back in the ring, and it's like, like
it backed up. We didn't know if it was storytelling, if he was legit hurt. We just didn't know.
But as soon as he brings him back in the ring, he goes right to work on that neck.
He worked him over, Daddy. It was ugly, and just move after move off the top rope, neck breakers, everything in between, submissions, cross faces, you name it. Eric Young brought it to Rich Swann. But Rich Swann, with the comeback of the year, was not going to let this one match stop his journey.
No, it was very reminiscent. I was saying it during the reaction show that when he was in that Gauntlet, which I think really made him in Impact Wrestling. That's his Impact Wrestling calling card. And he didn't win the match. So that says something. When you didn't win the match, it was like Ron Hextall in the 87 NHL Stanley Cup Finals where he won the Conn Smythe and the Flyers lost. Because he was who you remembered from that match. Because he just took a beating and he would not be stopped until just so many competitors beat on him. He just couldn't. He just couldn't go on anymore. And it was the same thing here. Like he was spitting up the blood. Like he was getting worked over in this match, and it's only his second match back, but he's taking this beating. Can he get through it? But he just showed that he cannot be denied. And this is his new calling card. He's the champ. And that the way he finished that with all those rotations off the top rope, because he does he gets a lot of rotations off the middle rope usually, and he did this from the top rope, which he doesn't usually do. So it was a little bit different. Like he went all the way. Like he went, I'm going for broke on this one, and he did it, and it was great match.
Yeah, I forgot. He usually does do that from the second rope, doesn't he? The Phoenix, is it the Phoenix Splash? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay,
pretty much. I'm not sure if he calls it something else, but it's definitely a version of it.
I think that's what Josh screamed when he did it. But yeah.
So I don't know. Like I guess we'll call that a super Phoenix Splash.
A super duper Phoenix Splash, if you will. Rich Swann coming out with the World Championship draped over his shoulder, and the admiration of the locker room coming out to congratulate him. It really was. It was such an incredible comeback story. No shenanigans. I thought maybe someone from the locker room was going to come out and then like attack him or something like that, kind of Raven-esque.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, everyone's out there congratulating, but then someone sneaks through and nails him. No, none of that happened. Happened.
It was very subtle. I'm surprised they actually didn't even zoom on it. Maybe we'll see something on Tuesday. But the whole locker room is walking down the ramp while Eric Young is sitting there watching.
Yeah.
So they just kind of like walk through him like a sea. It was just like Eric Young like this, and there's just like everyone walking by him. Like you would think like there'd be some kind of interaction with Eric Young on the ramp.
He was on the ramp. He was on the ramp.
He was on the ramp. And they just all passed by him, just ignored him, just kind of went through him.
Okay.
So who knows? But we'll definitely there'll be an aftermath with Eric Young for sure. I know one thing, and we talked about it. What I thought we might see is some type of Team Canada here, just like we thought we'd see maybe Aces and Eights at Slammiversary. We haven't seen either of these. But just like the Knockouts title, they put it in your mind, Impact.
Sure do.
And then they don't really do it, but they'll do it like 6 months from now, maybe.
Yeah.
So they don't just give you we're not giving you the farm here. we're just going to give you a taste. And that's kind of what they do. So I think that's something maybe by Hard to Kill, but who knows? Maybe Rebellion, Slammiversary, maybe next year's Bound for Glory. Who knows?
Is Rich Swann going to hold on to this championship and be Hard to Kill?
Yeah, we shall see.
Alicia, any final thoughts on this pay-per-view?
Just good job to everybody involved. Y'all put on a hell of a show, and I'm proud to be an Impact fan.
Yeah, that's one thing we could say, as proud Impact fans, that they certainly do put on a hell of a show time after time, whether it be one of the smaller Twitch specials or a big one like this, Bound for Glory, one of the bigger quarterly pay-per-views. Bill, your final thoughts?
My final thoughts on this were they had a large task ahead of them. This regime, Scott, Don, Ed Nordholm, Len Asper, the whole crew over there at Anthem, they've been knocking it out of the park, honestly, on pay-per-view since they got in charge. But really, Slammiversary, with all the interest going out, with all the free agents, and then really hitting it out of the park with a lot of new people checking out the product. And honestly, some of you right now in the chat, you're probably more current to the product, maybe since Slammiversary, due to what they did there. And this, they had to kind of keep it up. You can't go backwards. You can maybe maintain or keep going forward. Is really so you set those expectations high, which I think they're fine with that. They want that pressure, and I think they excelled tonight on doing that. They did it differently. It wasn't like Slammiversary a lot. This card, it was a lot different. Some might say the card actually on paper was a better card than Slammiversary, but you didn't have those surprise elements that a lot of people may have been looking for. But in the maybe not surprise angle of who was showing up, other than the Gauntlet, the surprise in the results. we watch this every day. We do 3 shows a week on Impact Wrestling, and our predictions, they weren't that good.
Nope.
Because we said it going into the show. A lot of this was, if you want to call it 50-50 booking, you really couldn't pick winners in these shows. It could go either way. And that's good for people like us watching the show. I think for casual fans, you don't want to know what's going to happen.
You don't want
to watch a
predictable.
show and go, well, I know 7 of the 8 winners every show. That's not Impact Wrestling. And that's a great thing to have, because we watch these shows and we want to be surprised. We want to be like, if I knew what was going to happen, would it be nearly as entertaining? No. And I don't know what's going to happen. So that's great. Sometimes we get it right, but I want to get it wrong most of the time.
Yeah.
Because I like being surprised, and that's what they are able to do. And honestly, I watch a lot of companies for a long time, you don't get a lot of that today. So it's fresh. It's a fresh perspective. So kudos to everyone. Obviously, we have a lot of the production people that get in here. With a lot of the talent has been on the show. Great job by all. Definitely keep it up. I know the tapings you have the next couple days. Knock it out of the park as always. And hopefully by time for Hard to Kill, I'll be seeing you there in the front row.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what that brings. What the I mean, it's not up to any of us, except in the sense of, hey, just everyone individually be safe out there. We can all make a change in all this if you really want to, but everyone's gotta be on the same page in order to do that. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, we'll see. I hope that fans can be in attendance by the next pay-per-view. We'll see what happens. So, it's very slow. The smaller events out there, they're starting to gain a little momentum, get a few people out there, and hopefully in the next couple of months that can absolutely grow in numbers. So, thank you, Bill. Thank you, Alicia, for joining me. We don't have some of our normal cohorts here like Kyle and our anchor Trent. Whew, yeah, he's
ankle lock.
He's
Shamrock, Hall of Famer.
I think there's an ankle lock in my brain. I've been sitting here so long. He's anchor for a reason. The man Trent in an undisclosed location, if you will. So, and thank you all. No matter where you were watching from, whether it be the comeback of Twitch, and thank you for all the bits and the follows and the subs. It's much love to all you guys and everyone on YouTube and anywhere else you catch us from on audio. which will be out within the next day or so. Not sure if we're going to be around tomorrow night. We'll have to wait and see exactly what we're feeling like the next day. Like I said, we've been sitting here a long time, the three of us.
Yeah. So, and I know a lot of you might not be with us live. Great, thank you for being here live with us. But if you're watching on a replay, feel free, comment on it. Let us know what you think of the show, favorite matches, what you thought of everything. Definitely put it in there. I know even if you're reviewing on the audio platforms, we look at those comments, we'll highlight them. So definitely rate, review, do all those things.
Yeah, let's go over socials real quick. Alicia, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram under the handle Alicia B. Cakey. B, just the letter. one word.
There you go.
And the man to my left, Bill.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at the same name, at my name, William M. Gardner, Gardner.
And you can find me over on that other little podcast called Smash This Podcast, where we're smashing all things wrestling. It was a light week this past week, I admit, and I'm sorry for not as much content, but this was Bound for Glory week, so we threw everything besides the kitchen sink at you with Impact and TNA.
Wait, let me go get the kitchen sink. Hold on.
No, I can't take any more, Bill. No, please, no. No, because I absolutely need some rest to get ready for this new chapter that Impact Wrestling is going to throw at us. Smash This Podcast is also on Twitch and YouTube and all the other socials that we throw at you guys. Thank you so much for all the support that you guys give us time and time again. And we'll see you down the road real soon as we look for this intro. Hang on there. This is I'm not used to this. There it is.
You can grab a shirt. You can new TNI UK shirts are out too. Pro wrestling tees. Check out all the merch.
Yes, Bison and Joe and Joe the Joker also have new stuff on the YouTube, new shows, and the new merch to go along with it. Proudly on Pro Wrestling Tees. I'm not sure if that sale is still going on this weekend. I know that was
just a one-day sale, but knowing them, obviously by Black Friday there'll be another sale, but I'm sure there'll be one in between the two.
I'm sure, but nonetheless, go to Pro Wrestling Tees, go support the brand, go give it some love, go buy some merch. Smash This Podcast also has some new merch as well. Gotta throw that in there. So much love, everyone. We will see you guys. If not tomorrow night, we'll see you next Tuesday. Much love. Good night, folks.
Thank you.
See ya.
Find me the name of this garbage show again that I'm on.
Total Nonstop Impact.
My name's John, capital letter E, period, Bravo, and you're listening to the Total Nonstop Impact Podcast.
This is the jaw-jacking Tuesday Night Impact, and his mother called him son because he shines like one. Mocha skin manimal, Rohit, Raju, and you are watching Total Nonstop Impact.
This is Taya La Güera Loca, and you are listening to Total Nonstop Impact.
The Walking Weapon, Josh Alexander, and you're listening to Total Nonstop Impact.
We are the Rascals. And you are listening to Total
Nonstop
Impact Podcast, baby.
Woo! And what you're really listening to is Total Nonstop Impact. Don't you dare miss a lesson. Oh, yeah.